Hey y'all, welcome to my channel. Y'all one of my first subscribers, so I won't say welcome back to my channel, but welcome to my channel. Here I'll be talking about just all things my life. I'll be sharing story times, I'll be vlogging, I'll be sharing my braces journey. I'll be showing my son and just my life in general, talking about being a chosen one or the spirit that I have, all types of stuff. So we just gonna get started. It's about 10:30 p.m. y'all on a Tuesday night. I do have to work in the morning, but this is the only time I get to record when my son is either with his dad or asleep. So I wish I could be all dolled up and cute, but girl, as soon as I hang up with y'all, I'm taking this off and I'm going to bed. But earlier today, I was watching a YouTube video while I was getting ready for work, and the girl was talking about letting God fight your battles and not seeking revenge and really letting God handle those things for you. And I was like, man, that makes me want to talk about a story in my life when I first encountered allowing God to I don't want to call it revenge, but allowing God. Sorry, I got my braces tightened yesterday, y'all, and my teeth are starting to, like, the brackets are starting to dig in places they never dug before. I'm gonna make a braces video probably tomorrow. Probably not gonna happen tonight. But anyway, I wanted to talk about my experience with the first time I heard God when he told me not to seek revenge on somebody, and he did it for me in time. So let's get into the story. So basically back in 2019, I was working as a server at a restaurant, and you know, I always had a spirit about me that makes other girls just not like me. Other girls just get jealous. They get real funny acting around me. And so, yeah, and I do my best to be nice to people. I'm always trying to be helpful to people. I'm always trying to, you know, just get along with people. That was back then. Now it's a whole different story. But back then, before I knew what I know now, I always try to get along with people and stuff. So yeah, it was a regular night. It was actually, I don't even want to get the line and saying what night it was, but let's say it was a Friday, right? Yeah, let's say it was a Friday night. So I work my regular shift. I don't mess with nobody. I don't mess with people. I don't do no funny stuff. I'm just a regular, real person that was just there to get my money, right? So when the end of the shift comes, we all have to clean our sections. We have to wipe down the seats in our sections. We have to sweep under the tables that was in our section. And then we have to have a manager come over and check to make sure it's really clean and give us the go ahead to go ahead and go home. So mind you, I didn't tell y'all, but so there's a manager there. Her name is B, and she's a young manager. She's a young white girl. She's about like 22 years old. And at this job, and I'm sure at many jobs, people don't get their positions off their qualifications. They got their positions based off of how much you kiss up to the main manager and who he likes the best. So there's B, the manager. I wouldn't even say she was close friends. She liked to gossip with this girl at the bar named C. Let's call her Cece. She liked to gossip with this girl at the bar named Cece, who was one of those, like, she was real fake. She was real fake. She was just one of those girls, but she was a bartender. I didn't really have to deal with her too much because I'm a server on this side of the restaurant. She a bartender on that side of the restaurant. But yeah, they were friends, but only on the basis that they like to gossip and complain, for real. And they were both around the same age. So I clean up my section and I go to get the manager, B, to give me the go ahead to go home. And when I go to get her, mind you, it's like 10 o'clock at night. No, I think the restaurant closed at 10. So it's like 11 o'clock at night, because this is after we count our money, after we clean up, after we do all that stuff, right? And I said, hey, I'm ready for you to check my section. That's usually how it goes. That's what we do every night. Go get them when it's time. And she was like, hold on. No, actually, it's all starting to come back to me. She used to claim that she had anxiety real bad. So she used to take anxiety medicine and stuff like that. I actually told somebody, I was like, I think she do drugs. And they were like, no, she don't do drugs. No, But I'm like, no, that bitch tweaking. But she used to say it was anxiety medicine. So she would, like, have these random outbursts all the time. So when I went to her and I said, hey, I'm ready for you to check my section, she was talking to Cece. Her and Cece were gossiping. And they had been gossiping that whole day. And they were trying to, that was the first time they got to actually sit down and really gossip because the restaurant was closed at this point. So I go over to her and I'm like, hey, I'm ready for my section to be checked. And she hits the table. I kid you not. She hits the table and she says, hold on, or something like that. And she just had an outburst. And I said, do not talk to me like that. It's not my job to sit here and wait for you to finish gossiping so you can check my section. And that's really all I said to her, right? So she ended up, because I'm gonna always fight for my respect. Like, you're not about to yell at me, especially no 22-year-old white girl. Like, you got me fucked up. Like, yeah, so, and it was just such a random outburst. Like, she hit the table, but it was built up animosity. It was something built up because she just couldn't stand me because, just because of my aura, just because of my energy. So, so she ends up coming over to check my section. And I noticed after she yelled at me, I noticed, this girl named A, who was a big hater of mine. This girl named B, this girl named D, who at the time I didn't know she was a hater, but found out. And then B, the manager, they all started convening after the little out, and I left smoothly. I left smoothly. I was off the next day, and then I was on the schedule for Sunday to come in at 4 p.m. So Sunday, I get dressed like normal. I head into work. I walk in the door, and the manager meets me at the door, and he says, "You no longer work here." And he says, I had two people tell me, I can't remember what he said, but I just remember he said, I had two people tell me, and because, mind you, I didn't tell a lot of the story, but the manager is a huge narc. There was no telling if he was making it up. At the time, there was no telling if he was making it up or what. So literally, when he told me I no longer work here, I just turned around and left. I never found out officially what happened, but from my intuition, I knew that A and D, even though I know I was talking about B had her outburst with me and everything, but A and D are the ones that went to him. So D and A are not even friends at all. They didn't talk at the restaurant. So I thought it was odd that they were convening with CC and B at the table in the corner because they don't even talk. So why are y'all staying after work to talk? D and A used to hate on me separately because I used to make a lot of money. I used to have people coming in requesting me. I was charismatic. People used to just like me, and they didn't like that. So they saw this as an opportunity to convince B that she should take this further, and that, like, you know, I wasn't there, but this is just what I feel happened. They tried to convince B, because she was like a timid white girl. They convinced her, like, you should get Tiana fired for even talking to you like that. And complained about A acted like she was my friend the entire time I worked there. But I knew deep down she was a hater. So, you know, I went home, and that's the first time I ever got fired in my life. I done worked plenty of jobs. I've been working since I was 14. I done worked at so many places. I have never in my life been fired from a job except that one. So it really, you know, it hurt. It hurt because I'm a good person. Like, I don't bother nobody. I'm nothing but loyal. I'm nothing but helpful. And the fact that people just can't stand your spirit, just the fact that people be jealous of you, they'll go behind your back to try to get rid of you. And so that was hurtful. Now it's expected. But back then, I didn't know what was going on. But I knew A and D had something to do with it. I had both of their phone numbers, so I wanted to let them know so bad that I had known what they had done to me. I had written out many texts. I even started to call a few times. There were some times that I wanted to send messages through other people, letting them know that I knew what they did to me. Because mind you, I never got to speak to them again. I abruptly got fired. Like, I walked out Friday evening not knowing that there was any issue. I mean, I know Brittany or B had her outburst at me, but she quickly calmed down. So I was just like, okay, it's a regular night. She just having her little spasms and stuff she be having. I never knew that was the last time I was going to see everybody. So, yeah, it was very frustrating that they got to play me like that, and I never got to say my piece. And I wanted to say my piece so bad, but every single time I would write out a text or get ready to call or get ready to do anything, God would say, do not. Literally, he would say, let me handle this. I heard him every time. And it was so hard, but I decided to obey him because I fear him, but also I was just like, you know what? I don't know what it was, but something in my spirit, because any other time in my life, I would have went ahead and sent that message. I really wanted them to know that I knew what they did to me. But I just kept hearing God say, do not seek revenge. Let me handle it. Like, let me handle it. So many times, y'all. So many times. Man, story time is hard because I'm already tired of talking. But yeah, I listened to God and I did not respond. I did not seek revenge. It was so hard. Like, it was so hard biting my tongue and everything, but it wasn't that hard because I didn't work there anymore. But it was definitely a humbling experience. So fast forward to I got fired in September, and I got fired like September 1st. And I ended up going back to that restaurant in March of the following year because I wanted some carrot cake. The restaurant is known for its carrot cake. So I wanted some carrot cake, but I think deep down what I really wanted was to go inside the restaurant. I wanted them to see me again. For real. And I wanted to see what their reaction would be when they saw me. So I asked my mom to come to the restaurant with me. She didn't know nothing about what I had planned, but I just asked her to come to the restaurant with me. And when I went to the restaurant, all my cool coworkers, they all came up to me and spoke to me, but A avoided me. Mind you, me and A was cool when I worked there and we never had no issues. So why, when I come back a few months later, would you avoid me? Like, that was already confirmation for me that she was one of the ones that got me fired. Because remember, I don't know who actually got me fired. I don't know what happened, but I've had plenty of dreams and clairvoyance of the conversation that she had. I knew it was her, but it was really a confirmation that it was her when I came back to the restaurant, and she was the only one out of my coworker friend group. You know what I'm talking about? She was the only one of them who literally avoided me the whole time I was at the restaurant. Didn't speak to me. And I know she saw me. But she avoided me. Like, that's a telltale giveaway. So that was confirmation for me at the time. So yeah, I went to that restaurant. It was like March 8th or something like that. And so yeah, that happened. And a couple months later, I actually went out to eat with another coworker, and she was just giving me the rundown on what happened. I was just getting the tea. I was like, what's been up, girl? And she was like, well, first of all, let me rewind. This is my first story time, y'all. I'm gonna get better at this. Let me rewind. When I went to that restaurant, the old manager actually came up to me and he told me that B actually got fired. And let me tell y'all why. B got so high off of drugs, or I don't know if it's because she got so high or she thought she was sneaky, but she decided to spend the night in the restaurant and was getting high. So mind you, I told somebody earlier, I think she was doing drugs, and they were like, no, never, no. Everybody acted like I was making shit up and stuff. And a couple months later, she got fired for getting caught sleeping in the restaurant doing drugs. So yeah, the manager told me that while I was there. So I was like, okay, that's one. Boop, out of here. So the same thing that, so she took part in me getting fired. She ended up getting fired. God did that. I wonder where she is. I wonder if I would even notice her if I saw her, because I know she's probably still in the restaurant industry, because I think she went to college for like restaurant management or something. So yeah, a couple months later, I went out to eat with a friend. I wouldn't call her a friend, but I went out to eat with another coworker, and I was just asking her, what's been up? And she was like, the restaurant shut down, right? And I was like, no. First of all, I low-key was pissed because the food there was bomb. I don't even care if I got fired. Like, I never really went back and ate no food because I was too afraid that somebody was spitting it. But I would have ordered it incognito for pickup and had a friend run in under a different name because the food was bomb. So I really was hurt when I heard it was closed. But she told me the whole restaurant closed. And I was like, what? She was like, yeah, they just had a meeting one day. And he was like, okay, the restaurant's closing in 2 days. Like, they had no warning. They had no warning. They literally shut the restaurant down like in 2 days. So that takes care of everybody else who fucked me over. Now y'all bitches is jobless. And I'm not, I swear I didn't pray for nothing negative to happen to nobody. I didn't pray for nobody else to get fired. I didn't pray for the restaurant to shut down. I couldn't even imagine praying for that and for that to actually come true. I just literally let go and let God. And he did all this, right? And then she told me that the other girl, D, ended up getting stabbed like 30 times by her. She was messing with a married man. And his wife showed up in the middle of the night, came in the house, and stabbed her up like 30 times. And mind you, during the course of me still working there, I actually tried to pull D to the side and like literally mentor her and help her get out of the situation that she was in, because I could see it was going down the wrong path. She was messing with an older dude at our job that was from like El Salvador or something. And mind you, he did the sugar booger, or booger sugar too. He did the drugs, and she was just like messing with him, and you could tell he was abusive. And I usually try not to get involved, but I pull her to the side and I'm like, girl, get out now. And she was crying to me, telling me that she wanted to, but she really didn't want to because she was still messing with him. Or I can't say she really didn't want to. All I know is at the time, it wasn't much I could do. So to hear that she ended up getting stabbed 30 times, I heard she was in critical condition, like real bad. She was out of work for like 3-4 months. All the coworkers had to like donate money, like a GoFundMe type thing for her to be able to live when she was on critical condition. And mind you, I wasn't happy to hear that news. I actually felt really bad for her to hear that news. But at the same time, I'm like, damn. I just wanted to say that it was actually a year and a few months when I went on this lunch after the situation had happened. The coworker and I were both pregnant a month apart from each other. We had both went full term in our pregnancies, had the babies, and brought the babies to lunch with us when they were months old. So it had been over a year since this had happened. So I was aware that D had made a full recovery. She was back on her feet. She was back working and probably back out there messing with people. But in no way am I rejoicing that this girl got stabbed. No. But it did happen, and it happened for a reason. And also, I did not ask about this girl. This information was brought to me, and that's how I knew it was a confirmation, confirmation of this is why I told you not to step in. So. Like, okay, so B got fired for sleeping in the restaurant. A and Cece lost their jobs when the restaurant closed. And D lost her job too when the restaurant closed, but also got stabbed 30-something times by the wife of her boyfriend. And I promise I'm not like, I wasn't happy to hear these things about these people, but I knew God. I knew that was his way of saying, I'm going to handle this. I'm going to handle this. And I feel like that feels so much better than anything that I could have done. Because the only thing that I was going to do is say, I know what you did. Which is not much. I just wanted them to know what they did. I wanted them to know that I knew what they had done to me and that they were wrong. So that was nothing compared to what God had planned. And also God has told me, because the one I really want the most is A. Because A was the one that pretended to be my friend the entire time. And maybe I'll tell more stories about her in the future. But A was the one that really pretended to be my friend. So A is the one I got the biggest problem with. Them other girls, I expected it from them. But A, I expected it. I knew she was jealous. But at the time, I didn't know what I know now. So I still want to see her face to face. And God told me that that's going to happen, actually. I'm going to get a chance, but he told me to be humble when I get that chance. Because I was thinking about, I already had some one-line sentences I was going to drop on her ass. I already had some stuff planned, and God keep telling me, you will see her again. You will get a chance to let her know that you knew what she did, but you need to still be humble, or I'm going to come after you. So that's just my little story about letting God take care of my battles and letting God be the one to just take care of people's karma. You don't have to step in. Just step out the way. Step out of the way. Don't get involved because you'll catch your own karma trying to get involved. Just step out the way and let God. And that's really it. But I just wanted to share my story, y'all. Like, comment, and subscribe. And stay tuned for more videos to come.